My name is Reverend Dr. Sintim. I am the priest in charge of St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I invite you to join me on a reflection, cell phone and Jesus. Over the years, I have seen people using cell phone in different areas. I look at cell phone and then I compare it to my Christian life. Cell phone has become one of the commonest instrument that all of us, about 90%, have. Some of us will have more than one, others will have 2 or 3, depending on the work that we do. And everywhere we go with our cell phones. Some of us even sleep with our cell phones. And we know our numbers by heart. We make sure that we continue to pay our bills at the right time because we don't want to cut the communication line. We always want to be in tune. When we set our tone, and therefore when it's ringing, we're able to recognize that this is our cell phone. I know my number to dial, and I'm able to go in and store a lot of things in this cell phone. I'm able to do some text messaging and have an effective communication with my friends and neighbors. I've set it even in a way that when somebody is calling, I know that this person is my mom or my friend. The way I am attached to my cell phone, I ask myself, am I attached also to the Lord? Like many of us, we sleep with our cell phone, but when even we are going to bed, it is so difficult for us even to give thanks to the Lord, to say a word of prayer, a word of thanksgiving, for the blessings that we have received throughout the whole day. It is even hard for us to commit even our own selves unto the Lord and say, Lord, and ask the Lord to sleep with us. But it is very easy for us to sleep with our cell phone. Most of us, we go to places without our cell phone. We are so much attached to our cell phone that it has become our brother guide. They guide us, they lead us. We can't leave. When even we are going to the restroom or even to the beach, we go with our cell phone. Are you attached to the Lord as the way you are attached to your cell phone? We are attached to our cell phone that everywhere we go, our cell phones go with us. But do you go to places with the Lord everywhere you go? Or we leave the Lord behind and only when there are crises and things are difficult and we cannot handle? Most of us, we only attach ourselves to the Lord only when we are in need or when we're in trouble or when things are not going the way that we want. Some of us, when it comes to even paying our tithe, giving for the mission of God's work, it is so difficult for us to attach ourselves to the Lord by committing and rededicating our lives on a day-to-day basis. It is so easy for us to pay our bills because we want to continue to have an effective communication with our friends and our family. Some of us, we know the dialing tone of our voicemail. But when God speaks to us, do we know? We are so much engrossed in listening to our cell phones that we don't even listen to the voice of God. If the way we treat our cell phones, if we would treat God in the same way, by being attentive to the voice of God, attaching ourselves to the word of God and attaching ourselves to prayer, the power of prayer. If we will hear, we will be attentive to hear the voice of God. The way we look at our cell phones. If we will know our number like the way we know the quotations from the Bible to help us in our everyday life. Many times, blessings bypass us. As the Lord brings His blessings through different ways, through different channels, we are not attentive like we are attentive to our cell phone. And we allow things, the blessing to bypass us every day. When our cell phones are misplaced, we all make the effort to replace them. But do we replace our faith? by going near and being near to God? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat God? Wouldn't it be more a blessing if you and I can spend some quality time with God? If you and I can be more attached to God? If you and I can give to God? And then look at the way you relate yourself to God. Look at the way your relationship with God. If you treat one another like the way you treat your cell phone, I believe that the world will be a peaceful place. Some of us will pay even more attention to our cell phones than pay attention to our own selves. The cell phones has become our second self. And without them, we think life is meaningless. As I invite you to listen to me and to join me, I want you to once again reflect on the way you treat your cell phone, the way you treat God, the way you treat other people compared to your cell phone, the way even you treat your own self. Let the use of a cell phone be a lesson to all of us, so that we'll be able to develop a relationship with God by attaching ourselves more to God and hearing His voice and knowing the numbers by studying His word through the word. If we can attach ourselves to one another as human beings and work with one another and be with one another and love one another as the Lord has loved us. If we know our own selves like the way we know our cell phones, so that we'll know where to go, where not to go, what to do, what not to do, to be of help to us. As we use our cell phones on a daily basis, and as we give all the attention needed to our cell phone, I suggest to you that give attention, the same attention to your Lord, to others, and to yourself, and you will be blessed in whatever you do. May God speaks to us through the use of cell phone, and share the story with somebody. Peace.